Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, 420 Chan's Woo Wrestling Discussion Board is proud to present to you its podcast, Champions of the World!
Oh, you were not aware of this? Your posterior better contact someone at once!
It's time for segment 3, fuckers. We're going to go into the fair or foul. I don't know why NetJester always puts a 30-minute time limit on this. There is no time limit.
Smoke weed every day.
Indeed. That's probably why. He gets all stoned and he forgets. Fucking druggy. So, here we go. Fair or foul. Let's see. We'll start with RMD. I'm going to list a thing. You tell me if that thing is fair, as in good, or foul, as in NetJester. Starting with number 1 here, there were no Divas matches on the pay-per-view. Red Machine D, fair or foul?
You know, I'm going to call that fair because they throw out the obligatory 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 Divas tag matches every week on Raw and or SmackDown. Anyways, so why does it have to be on a pay-per-view? Unless there's a serious angle going with the Divas, then why put it on a pay-per-view?
Good point. Oh, WR.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was fair. Particularly because, like I said, it's the Royal Rumble undercard, so you don't necessarily need, unless you really, really need like 5 minutes of filler, you really don't particularly need a Divas match. And it's not like they have much going anyway at the moment. And with that, I might have to say adieu to our audience for this week, because what's foul is that where I live, when it snows 1/4 of an inch, the entire place shuts down, and I have to go take care of some nasty business, I'm afraid.
He's got to go poop, ladies and gentlemen. Drop some kids off at the pool. Lay some cable.
Drop some penguins off at the,
Just say Pittsburgh Penguins. Everybody will know what you're talking about.
Alright. The Schittsburg Penguins. That's what Omega's doing. Let's see here. I'm going to say foul, because it is not fair to the people in the arena who paid good money to get into the Rumble, to not have a bathroom break or a chance to get to the merchandise stands. Let's see here. Gunner. Is it fair or foul?
Please name me the feud that is happening in the Divas division. Any feud whatsoever.
Is AJ feuding with the rest of the division?
The only thing even closely resembling a feud is Total Divas versus everyone else, and that's not even really a feud.
Exactly.
Alright, here, we lost Omega, and I'm a little bit saddened. And now I'm even more saddened because I have to ask NetJester his opinion.
Well, first of all, I'm also watching the State of the Union out of the corner of my eye, and I swear to God, there's a guy in the audience who just looks like Percy Watkins. But moving right along, I would say that, unfortunately it's fair, because I don't really believe at this point that with everything going on, especially with Dick Butt, anybody has 2 seconds to give a care about the Divas, which is sad.
Hey, NetJester, who's Percy Watkins?
Who's Percy Watkins?
No, he's talking about Percy Harvin.
Harvin? Percy Watkins, NXT, the dude with the glasses.
Oh, wait, I heard Garvin? Like Hands of Stone?
Percy Garvin? Alright, let's move on.
Alright, let's see here. Red Machine D. Brian's storyline, apparently, is, yeah, fuck you, smart marks, you fucking faggots. Fair or foul?
To me, it's hilarious because the problem is that people on the internet, especially, I term them as the internet smarts, they want everything they want. Everything. I mean, absolutely everything, and they want it now. They're not willing to go to any investment or any long-term or anything like that. They want a dick butt with the Royal Rumble win and the title right now, or they're just going to sit there and hold their breath. They're not interested in letting a story develop or anything like that, and I feel that the people at Titan Towers know this. So what do? They throw a big old "fuck you" right in the middle of the Royal Rumble.
Alrighty, I'm gonna say fair because it's kind of funny. Gunner, fair or foul?
It's foul because they could be making a hell of a lot more business by protecting him and building him up like they did Cena in 2005, as opposed to what they're doing right now.
Alright, and that does right.
The storyline is what it is, and I believe that it is Triple H, and it is Vince laughing their ass off of all Smarks. So yeah, that's fair, but Smarks and everybody else in the crowd want Daniel Bryan, and we want him the way we didn't want Cena shoved down our throats when he got big, so that part is foul.
No, we just want off the other end.
Alrighty, let's see. Red Machine D, that fucking incredible leap of faith. 11 foot, I think is what they called it. It might not have been quite 11 foot, but still, it was really fucking far, and I thought it was really fucking awesome.
You know what? I'm going to call that fair because if you look at some of the broad jumps, which is what Kofi Kingston did, if you look at some of the broad jumps over the last few years in the NFL Combine, the top were, let's see, 11'5" in 2005 by Scott Starks out of Wisconsin, 11'5" out of Justin Fargas, 11'4" out of Jerome Simpson, 11'3" out of Donald Washington. You see what I'm getting at? The 11-foot jump would be at near the very top of the NFL Combine results. That's how good it was.
Yeah, he is something else entirely. It's kind of a shame that he's just a spot monkey, and that's all he gets used for. Gunner, fair or foul, that leap of faith?
Pretty fair. It was fun to watch, and I enjoyed the person that caught him too, Mr. Rusev. He should be an interesting addition to the main roster.
Alrighty, and
I'll take that as me, but two things. First, that was Olympic level, and it is absolutely fun to watch because we know he's going to do it every year. Kofi's going to get in trouble in one way or another, and he's going to have to get himself out of it. With a pogo chair, with standing on his hands, with this incredible Olympic leap. It's damn fun to watch, but one thing I'd like to ask, are we absolutely certain that Kozlov is now on the main roster? Rusev, Kozlov. Let's call the whole thing off.
No, asshole. They're not even both Russian. One of them is from the what was it? The Ukraine? I want to say Ukraine.
No, Bulgaria.
Talk about Smarks being butthurt.
No, I'm talking about people who want to get their nationalities right, you fuckwit.
So, CM Punk is not the second person ever to win the Rumble from the number one entry position. Red Machine D.
Who was the first one?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, well, there you go. CM Punk is not on the level of Shawn Michaels.
Alrighty, Nope. Yeah. Gunner?
Yeah, quit looking into your mouth.
It's fair. He didn't need to win this time. Star was here to actually win it, and maybe next year. You know, because we're giving it to people who are about to leave the company and all, considering his deal is up in July. And right now, by the way, CM Punk will leave the company at the end of July and not come back until the Royal Rumble next year.
Really? Okay.
Alrighty, and Nedresser.
It's totally fair. Totally fair. I think he'll lead up to almost leaving the company again. They're going to put him in some hot angles, or at least they should.
Alright, and finally, for fair or foul, RMD is here again. RMD, fair or foul?
I'd like to recuse myself from this question.
Fair enough. Gunner?
I'll say fair, because it's been okay, I guess. I don't understand why you're asking this question. And this isn't me just fucking around.
I seriously had nothing else.
Aren't you just a fucking asshole?
Well, you know. Like, I just couldn't think of anything, so I was like, oh, well, RMD is here again. Let's make that a thing. Netchester, I know what you're going to say.
As long as anybody doesn't put any DDR machines right next to him, I think it's fine.
Alright. So, continuing segment 3, something we don't do often, we are going to give our esteemed panelist, Red Machine D, 5 minutes, I think. Seems like a fair amount of time. He can probably rattle it off quick enough. He is asked to return and do this resurgence, revival of the Rant Machine D. So let's get a rant in. Your time. It starts now.
Something I've seen that's been a real big problem among the internet wrestling community. Just about every site that's out there, from the Squared Circle to Woo to the horrible pits of the WrestleCrap boards, and even to that no man's land known as GameFAQs, the problem is that nobody wants to see an angle be fleshed out. Nobody wants to see the entire story told. You just want to get to the end. And this is mostly manifest in people openly mocking and shitting on the attitude of, let's just see where this goes. If we're honest, you have to see where things go. You can't just get the payoff immediately. Things have to be drawn out. Stories have to be told. There are things that are going on in the storyline that need to happen before you get to the end. You can't just go to the last couple pages of the book after you read it. George R.R. Martin's entire career, the Game of Thrones television show, is based on let's just see where this goes. I mean, are you going to want to pick up a copy of A Game of Thrones, read the first few pages, and then fast forward to the Red Wedding? No, that would be ridiculous. You're going to be lost, and then you're going to be disappointed because one of the biggest things was just thrown right out there for you, even though it's exactly what you wanted. Even if people got exactly what they wanted all the time anyways, for example, Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble and then winning the title, defending the title, etc., they would get tired of it. They'd get sick of it. They'd start shitting on creative again. And then, when creative turns around and starts drawing out the stories, then people would start shitting on them again for, oh, let's just see where this goes. The fact of the matter is that people just aren't happy with anything they're getting. And there's no other way to say it. You can't be pleased. That's all there is to it. The drawing out of the story is going to get people violently shitting on them and people derided on message boards and in chat rooms everywhere. But people who get exactly what they want, when they want it, how they want it, etc., it's going to get old really fast, and then people are going to get shit on that too. So, on one hand, you have people shitting on you as the end game. On the other hand, you have people shitting on you at the end game. I don't see what the problem is with drawing out the storylines in that case. If it's going to end in a heap of shit, then why not just let the story be told? That's all there is to it. Just tell the goddamn story. Find out what's going to happen between now and the ending. And then when the ending gets there, it's all wrapped up in a nice little bow. So you can see Daniel Bryan fighting from the depths of getting quote-unquote buried by the Shovel Master, Nipple H himself, and then rising up, winning the Elimination Chamber, losing or whatever the hell, and going on and fighting through SummerSlam and all that. Or you could just fast-track the belt onto him and then you're pissed that you didn't get a build-up. Either way, you're going to be unhappy. So, instead of frowning all the time and hating everything on the product and demanding that you get what you want, when you want it and everything, just let the story be told. Let creative do their jobs, if they can do them at all. Let's be honest, we're dealing with soap opera writers. But anyways, let them do their jobs. Let them tell the stories. Let them draw things out. You can't always get what you want. You know why? Because if you got what you want all the time, you'd be unhappy with that too.
But if you try sometime,
you just might find.
You get what you need.
stop.
Okay, that wasn't quite
Damn,
5
turn out the
minutes,
goddamn
but
radio.
Net Jester fucked everything up, as usual. So, let's just go get some food. I would like some ice cream.
You're buying.
Drive-through.
Alright guys, it's time for the Dairy Queen drive-thru, and with the ratings this week, RMD.
The ratings for the week for Raw, SmackDown, Impact, and everything else. Impact. Night 2 of Genesis actually had a 1.25. Ooh. That's right. TNA got a 1.25 rating. Can we get a round of applause for that? Can we get a round of applause for TNA getting a 1.25? This was off a first hour 1.29 and a second hour 1.22. But the problem is it was, people actually got led into by cops, because that's all that Spike airs anymore. Reruns of cops, reruns of jail, and Impact. The lead-in actually gave it but helped for a 1.42 rating in the first quarter, and then kind of slid down from there. The second hour actually bumped up a little to 1.39 for the Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode cage match, and then kept sliding and sliding and sliding down to 1.21 in the sixth quarter, and then the 1.13 and 1.14 to finish off the show, respectively, at the very end where Magnus and Sting went up against each other, and Sting lost. So he's out of there. Anyways, SmackDown! SmackDown's ratings for the broadcast last week, the go-home show before the Rumble, was a 2.15, up from a 2.0 last week, with an average just a hair over 3 million viewers. It's also the highest rated episode, dating back almost a full year, back to February 13. Raw, just after the Rumble, that's last night's episode for those of you keeping score at home, drew a 4.718 million viewer count. That's actually a little problem because it's down from the average from 4.8, etc., etc. So, yeah, there was actually a little downtick slightly from last week's. So, that's averaging 4.718. Quick calculation, 4.718 4.86. The difference is about 150,000 people decided not to watch because of the Royal Rumble. That's
Right.
encompassing all of wrestling. All the wrestling fans in the world that usually watch Raw, 150,000 of them decided not to tune in. That's not even TNA figures. That's
We
barely
will,
Ring of Honor figures.
We will see those 150,000 or so people next week when they forget that they swore off wrestling forever.
Yep. I'm never watching WWE again. See you on Monday for Raw.
Alright, and with the birthdays this week, Mr. No Show himself, yanking UDS.
You pull a Scott Hall one time, and you never live it down. Let's see here. On January 31st, we have Bryan Adams and Giant Gonzalez. And on February 3rd, we have the baddest man in not just the history of wrestling, but probably the world, likely the universe, Ming. Also, some other guy used to be in a tag team with Shawn Michaels. Marty Jannetty. That's it for the birthdays. That's all the birthdays for this coming week.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with me, the announcer guy. Jump to 1904. George Hackenschmidt defeats Ahmed Mandrali in London, England, to become the recognized, undisputed World Heavyweight Champion outside of North America. Hackenschmidt, who had been claiming the title for 4 years by then, had already won the World Championship tournaments in Austria, France, Germany, and Russia in 1901. He would gain worldwide championship recognition on May 4th, 1905, when he defeated American heavyweight champion Tom Jenkins in New York City, New York. Jump to 1986, a WWF television taping at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. Roddy Piper announced that his bodyguard, Cowboy Bob Orton, had been forced to remove his arm cast, which he had been wearing for well over a year. Piper then introduced Orton as Boxing Bob Orton and announced an open challenge for him to have a boxing match with any wrestler. Jose Luis Rivera accepted the challenge and was knocked out by Orton. Later in the taping, in another edition of Piper's Pit, Hulk Hogan appeared and signed Mr. T to the open contract to face Orton in a boxing match. This was the beginning of the storyline that would result in Piper versus Mr. T at WrestleMania 2. I will jump once more one time to 1993, when the legendary Andre the Giant passes away from congestive heart failure due to a tumor on his pituitary gland, causing it to produce an excess growth hormone, a condition known as acromegalia. Andre died in his sleep in Paris, France hotel room, where he was in town for his father's funeral. Andre's last match in the WWF came on April 13th, 1990, at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan, before 53,742 fans. The event was called Wrestling Summit and featured wrestlers from the WWF as well as All Japan and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Andre teamed with Giant Baba to defeat WWF Tag Team Champions Demolition, Axe, and Smash in a non-title match when Andre pinned Smash with an elbow drop. Posthumously, Andre the Giant was the first wrestler inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame in 1993. And now it's time for some happy trails. Jester, why don't you read the happy trails? Oh! Sabi. Sit heel down! Anyway, happy trails to Sting. Oh, hang on. Who is no longer appearing on TNA programming and has been removed removed his TNA-related stuff from his website and his Twitter, and is now operating outside of storylines and companies, with the only thing on his Twitter saying, "The only thing that's sure about Sting is that nothing's for sure." Also, happy trails to Mike DiBiase, who was arrested early Thursday morning after a standoff with police and SWAT, after hiding in a building and trying to escape a parole violation. And finally, happy trails to Jimmy the Superfly Snuka after how do you pronounce that? Lake County?
Yes, Lake County.
I would think it would be Lehigh, but okay.
County DA's office announced that they will re-investigate the unsolved death of his girlfriend, Nancy Argento, from 1983, presenting evidence to the grand jury. Ooh.
Argentino.
Don't for me, Argentino. It's true that I never left you.
Fucking, let's just get to the damn match suggestions.
Fucking bullshit!
Well, you ran right into
What should we
that.
watch this week in wrestling? Yankum DDS.
Bray versus Brian.
Jester?
Well, I am going to say that the only other match that I thought was worth watching off of the Royal Rumble was the tag team title match, and it's sad to see how the rematch ended on Raw last night. They just mangled the hell out of that.
R&B, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I'm gonna flash back to an all-time classic ass-kicking, Acolytes versus Public Enemy.
Oh, the Public Enemy.
And I'm going to say the 1999 Royal Rumble match, because it's a Royal Rumble match, and it's the one that The Rock and the Big Show were in, and it was an interesting ending. And if you'd like to take a look at that, or Too Cool Dancing in the Middle of the Ring, check out that Royal Rumble match. Okay, so that's it for this week. Thank you everybody for listening. This has been episode 104 of We'll Get Serious. You can come visit us online at smarksnark.com. Every Tuesday night we come to you live via Spreaker, and hopefully soon enough we'll be in Woo Alt every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's like 2 or 3 in the morning for you Englanders over there. And let's see here, we have a Twitter, twitter.com/smarksnark. We have a Facebook, facebook.com/smarksnark. On the Twitter, we live tweet every pay-per-view and Monday Night Raw. And come and sometimes myself. It's been myself, it's been, I've been there more so than not lately. But, you can check us out there if you have any sort of hate mail or some sort of personal contact that you need to get a hold of us for. It's smarksnark@gmail.com. That includes you people who are independent wrestlers or promoters of independent companies who would like a little more exposure to a solid group of bands that really, really enjoy wrestling. Thank you very much for listening.
Wait,
I'd just like to remind you.
I have an announcement for the 1 or 2 people that will probably hear this. Possibly, could you subscribe to our YouTube channel? We would very much like to broadcast live with a video feed, which we could do on YouTube, which we would be able to easily put onto the 420 Chan TV service TamaTube. Is that right, RMD? Is that how you say it? Tama?
Tima.
Ha! I was right before, and then thought I was wrong. But anyways, Tama.tv, TAIMA.tv, /r/SeriousTube is a thing that I would like to make. But in order to broadcast live on YouTube, we do need 100 subscribers. We have 4. So, 96 to go. Help us out.
Hey, everybody. Care. Spike your hair.
Gerp.
Herb, gerp, gerp.
No Bork.
Oh, Omega's not here.
Derp, 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 derp.
Good night, Hack and
Good
Sack.
night, San Antonio.